NFL running backs this year in the NFL and their production have certainly gone way, way down. And Grantland.com's Bill Barnwell outlines this with many key running backs and star running backs in the National Football League. So let's just start with Ray Rice very quickly. In 2012, he rushed for 257 yards, 1,143 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. In 2013, down immensely. 140 carries, 420 yards, 3 yards per carry.
Yeah, take the Bears out of that. It's even worse.
Yeah, totally. The Bears' horrible, horrible run defense. A lot of variables go into every single player.
He's not even moving. That's the problem. He just stands there. You're not going to gain any yards.
A lot of variables go into every single player. And with Ray Rice, it simply falls on the fact that Matt Burke retired and their offensive line has been abysmal. They run, I believe, between the two guards, the most out of any team, if not, top 10. Yes.
Am I wrong? Matt Burke's a dick. He wouldn't go to the White House, right?
Correct.
He the one? I never remember the guys.
He put out an anti-gay ad.
Yeah, screw Matt Burke.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ravens' offensive line is a problem, but I think that if you watch Ray Rice, he's a little slower. He seems a little slower. It happens. And normally, I wouldn't trust what my eye sees because the eye is incredibly deceptive.
And old.
Right, my eyes are old.
Yeah.
That's why I need glasses. Because Rick, you see, the situation, Rick, is that, oh, you're not Rick. But he looks slower, and he's at the age where that happens. It happens so quickly, and I've been watching football for 25 years, 30 years, and you see guys who are they look fine one year, and then the next year it's over, and it's much quicker for a running back. And I was listening to the Ravens game.
Ray Rice is 26.
Is that, yeah, I mean, he's young, but he's taken a pound. I mean, he's not at that age yet.
Sure.
So, but he seems like he's at that age, is really what I wanted to say. Because, and he looks slower. And obviously that could be a series of injuries. I mean, if you got a little pain.
He had a hip injury.
Right, you got some, then that could slow you down. You combine that with the offensive line. But I was watching the Ravens-Bears game on Sunday, and whoever was doing the color commentary on the game said, Rice has lost half a step, but he still should be hitting that hole. And I know they're just speaking in announcer vernacular. But I mean, if you lose half a step in the NFL,
that goes a long way.
Right, you have whatever it is, you have a third of a second to hit that hole. And if it takes you 2/5 of a second instead of a third, or certainly half a second instead of a third, well, guess what? Some incredibly talented 23-year-old linebacker is going to be there. He'll have fallen off that block.
That guy has gained a step.
Right, that guy's right.
You've lost 2.
Right, that's right. That's 2. So I mean, losing a step is a big deal. And imagine you got these offensive linemen, they got to hold that block, and if they got to hold it for a 1/10 of a second more, if that guy just comes off it a little, then he bumps you, and then you don't really get through the hole. And what could have been an 8-yard run is all of a sudden a 2.5-yard.
CJ Spiller is also down this year. Let's pull up his stats very, very quickly if we can. Last year, 203 carries, 1,244 yards, 6 yards per carry. In 2013, this year, 123 carries, 507 yards, 4.1 yards per carry. A lot of people are saying that his ankle is not healthy, so that's another injury.
Well, for him, the injury is even more dramatic than it is he's not moving either. First of all, put on your helmet. For crying out loud, you're a football player. You can't run without your helmet.
That's a no-no.
Spiller, first of all, 6 yards a carry, you're going to come down. That's all-timer. Although Peterson was also 6 yards a carry last year. So Spiller is clearly hurt in the leg, which is going to slow you down. I mean, he's missed games. He's had other games where he's had. I'm surprised he's getting 4.1 yards a carry. I saw that surprised me. That guy's a dynamic player, and I suspect healthy, he'll still dazzle.
Their top offensive lineman, Andy Levitre, also left for Tennessee. So that's another factor that goes into it. And then the guy that replaced him.
Yeah, they cut.
A month ago.
Yeah. Defense has changed, offense has changed, and they keep trying to one-up each other. So right now the defensive scheming is winning. So you have a certain amount of, this is one of the things, I think there's more.
The defensive scheming is winning, the offensive scheming is winning.
It's changed because of the way the defensive scheming has changed. So now they're passing a lot more only because defensive scheming has found a way, there's not too many things you can do with a run. You run in certain places, you do certain schemes through it. We saw the Wildcat becoming this big popular trend a few years ago.
Yeah.
And the 2 running back scheme, a system that happened, that was probably part of the decline as well. You have 2 running backs taking up all the runs, you're going to get less attempts. And then when you had the Wildcat come in, defense has changed the way they've keyed in on people. And I think some aspects of that, putting so many people in the box and expecting that, shut down a lot more of this running game, which caused a lot of the offense to go, we got to pass the ball. don't have time for this. We can't.
Well, and the receivers are just so immensely talented
Yeah,
that it's like I'm starting to come around on Ben's theory that just don't run, but you still have to run. Obviously, he's not saying totally take away the run, but you have these receivers that are so good and so talented. Not that the running backs are not talented, but that the amount of yards that you could get on a run play. What is it? One in 1,000 that he pulls off a 98-yard run?
Having a running back who, has hit the hole, and if he makes it by the first wave of the defensive line, you've got linebackers to do it, then you have some crashing D-backs. You have a receiver who's maybe double covered. You have a lot less defenders to defend one guy.
Adrian Peterson is also down, if we could pull up his stats very quickly. Bill Barnwell, again, from Grantland.com, doing a fantastic job on this subject. In 2012, 348 carries, 2,097 yards, 6 yards per carry. Fantastic year last year. And again, that was with Christian Ponder, who was also the quarterback, part-time quarterback this year. In 2013, 194 carries, 851 yards, 4.4 yards per carry.
And Peterson showing, Barnwell predicted a decline for Peterson this year, and he's showing all the signs of it. It's hard to be a running back, man, because you're getting hit 250, 300 times. I mean, it's changed so dramatically. When I grew up as a Washington fan, and those great Super Bowl teams that the team had in the 82, 83 when they lost, 87, the receivers, Ricky Sanders, Gary Clark, Virgil Say, Alvin Garrett, Charlie Brown, those guys were little. They were all little. Yeah. And then the one guy who wasn't little and is in the Hall of Fame finally, Art Monk, wasn't fast. He was big, but he wasn't outrunning anybody. And then all of a sudden, we're like, no, what if they were big and fast? What if that happened?
It's like we've experienced evolution of the human being happen, and guys are taller and bigger and faster.
Well, the top 3 wide receivers this year are tall and fast: Calvin Johnson, AJ Green, and Des Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, and every team has got, you look, and the Bears got 2,
Jeffrey and Marshall, definitely. Yeah.
And these guys.
Andre Johnson, even though he's not having the best year. But
declining a little bit, but
you
he's
saw
still
what
there.
he could do in that game against the Colts. He had 3 touchdowns. He dominated that game, and so it's a different world, and the cornerbacks haven't caught up. So I don't think it's going to circle back. I could be wrong. And obviously there will be successful teams that run the hell out of the ball. That's still coming. The Redskins, who as dynamic as RG3 was, Washington, who was as dynamic as he was last year, what was great about that team was Alfred Morris and their ability to run. One thing that Barnwell leaves out in the Jamal Charles analysis.
Can we go to that very quickly?
Yeah,
Charles?
is that Jamal Charles is on the field of those guys. He's like the only guy on the field. I guess Ray Rice is on a fair amount. Well, he split some carries with Bernard Pierce, who's also having a terrible year.
He's awful year.
But his carries. That's not really. They've played what are they, 9-1?
Yeah.
So we're 63% through the season. So he's close to on a pace for about the same number of carries.
And he's the most dynamic player on the offense.
Yeah,
they
and he
use
catches
him every play.
He catches a gazillion passes too. So, his yards per carry may be down, but I don't really see much of a decline.
I think that's
in
the
Jamal
best
Charles.
point. The yards per carries will stay steady, but I think the biggest point being, this is a full season versus when it's incomplete. So of course the numbers will be a little different on number of carries.
Right, but he's headed to about that same number of carries based on the percentages. They're almost exactly.
Chris Johnson, who has also been hounded production-wise, CJ2K as he likes to call himself.
Didn't this guy have one good year?
Yes.
I guess he had a good year last year.
He had a few good years. 276 carries, 1,243 yards, 4.5 yards per carry this year. Down once again, 167 yards, 167 carries, 632 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. Last one, Marshawn Lynch is also down as well. In 2012, 315 carries, under 1,600 yards, 5 yards per carry. This year, 208, 925, 4.4 yards per carry. Again, the story with Marshawn Lynch, similarly to a few others, is that the offensive line has been bad. Giacomini and Russell Okung were out.
4.4 yards a carry when you know the guy's
still
getting the ball is still very impressive. And Pete Carroll's clearly reduced. Those carries will go down. He's not going to get to 300 carries based on that pace this year, so they're at least reducing his carries. Marshawn Lynch is one of the strangest players to me, some most surprising players ever.
You're only saying that because he likes Skittles.
I thought he was done. It seemed like a failure in Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah.
He wasn't good. Then he went to, I can't tell you how many fantasy drafts I've been like, I'm not taking Marshawn Lynch. And now all of a sudden he's this sort of veteran tough guy. We did his age. His age is staggering.
Yeah.
I think he's 26. He has to be 31 years old.
I think
he has to be. There's no way Marshawn Lynch. He is not older than 27.
And also because look, he looks like
said
he's
25.
He looks old. He looks 40.
Yeah,
he looks like he's got a kid in college. Yeah, my son's at NC State. You know?
James Lynch.
Right, I got a kid at A&M.
Very quickly, and then we'll wrap up. Bill Barnwell, I want to give him the most amount of credit in the world. In the NFL, at least 27 rushes per game. That has been the precedent that the NFL has set in rushing. They have 26.9 right now. That'd be
First
the
time in
first
NFL
time
history.
ever.
Yeah.
70% of yards from scrimmage are pass plays, and running backs are averaging 4.1 yards per carry, all in all, the lowest since 2007.
Yeah, and which is the surprising part about that. The interesting thing is that you would think with 70% of the yards coming from pass plays, with teams keying on the pass more. I mean, you imagine that many teams spend the whole game, most of the game, in the nickel. That therefore the yards per carry
susceptible to the
might increase, but it's not. It's gone down. So that is a little. I can't quite explain that, and that includes these. That includes these increased yards per carries from more quarterbacks. All these quarterbacks who can run, those guys don't average 4 yards a carry. Those guys average 7 yards a carry because when they scramble, they only run. Robert Griffin run 5 times for 49 yards. Yeah. So those numbers are very surprising. This league has become a passing league, and I don't see that changing because there's just going to be more and more good quarterbacks. And as more and more guys, and to some extent it has something to do with the old racism in the NFL too, as that goes completely away, as every team is now comfortable, I would imagine, starting a black quarterback if that's the right guy. So many of these guys can run. None of these guys are going to they're going to come into college, and if they're not a pure pocket passer, teams aren't going to be like, well, maybe you need to play safety, son. Now all of a sudden they'd be like, yeah, okay, it turns out, go ahead, throw on the run. Yeah. You're good at it.
Then once and they're accurate. The thought before was running quarterbacks can't throw the damn ball.
But it turns out they can.
When they scramble out, and now they've killed you with their legs so long, the defense starts focusing on this guy, and you have now your big, fast, tall wide receivers on one-on-one coverage, or sometimes just plain wide open.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be teams individually that rely on the run. But I think in general the league is probably once they break 69.9% of yards gained from scrimmage on pass plays. My hunch is that it's going to be 70% for the rest of time.